Good morning, and welcome to Hearst Brand Farms. We have a day planned today. Now, the real challenge is going to be, can we do it all today? So, we're getting in the Challenger MT765E. We've got the Great Plains Max Chisel hooked up. That is my new favorite piece of tillage equipment. Just saying, it does an awesome job. It looks really good behind it. I mean, look at this field. Look at that. We're gonna plant right into that. It's gonna be sweet. We are working ground for corn. We're gonna be planting corn in this field. Maybe, just maybe, we'll get it planted today. We've got, 30 acres or so left of disc gripping with the Max Chisel. Disc gripping, chiseling, whatever you want to call it. Got about 30 acres left there, and then we'll see. We might do another field. We're not sure yet if we're going to use this or another piece of tillage like our sunflower vertical tillage tool. But we're using this because this field was spread with manure. So we're working that into the ground. And yeah, it's going to be a good day. I hope. There's a lot going on. I moved my water this morning. Got a couple fields that I moved water on. It was pretty simple, but more water's turning on. We've got an issue with a pivot over there. I don't know what's going on, but it's like the third tower from the end. I need to check it out, but I need to get this done first. So much going on. This spring has been nuts. We'll let this tractor warm up, and we're gonna go get going. Well, we finished our disc gripping, prepping the corn ground, and as always, things don't go as fast as you thought or hoped or wanted or anything like that. But we're gonna go over to our other farmyard just down the road, drop this disc gripper off. I think we're done with it for the year. Sure, the cars are coming. Probably should pressure wash it, but we're kind of strapped for time, and it's not that dirty. We're pretty dry. We're in pretty dry soil, so we're gonna go drop it off and park it in the other yard. And then we've got a hook on the dammer diker. And then I noticed in the shop, we just barely got our sprinkler package for the new pivot that's going up. Thanks to Comet for that. It's gonna be exciting to try those out. Let's see, the KPW, that's the new wave. That's what that one is. So I think these are KPTs. Anyways, I'll let you know when we go open them up. Let's park this back here nice and neat. I like a little bird stain on the window. So my grandpa used to, it used to be a pet peeve of his if you didn't park equipment straight with the world, he said. In his later years, he actually got in his pickup occasionally and would try, like we had a couple trucks that were, I don't know what was wrong, like the transmission was broke or the engine was bad or something, so the trucks didn't actually move. They were old bobtail trucks. And he actually ended up putting a little, just teeny tiny little dent in his pickup front push bar or bumper, because he was trying to push the broken down truck to make it more straight with the world, as he would say. So that's, we try to park things as straight as possible. So we're parking here on actually an old dairy pad, and we got a bunch of concrete here to line up with. So I'm gonna go outside and unhook this disc gripper. We're good to go. We are going to hook on to, maybe not today. Yeah, no, we're not hooking on today. We got other stuff to do before we get that far. But we eventually do need to hook onto the dammer diker, which is for potatoes. And it is just a cultivator bar with, I'll show you when we get there, but imagine a spoked rim without the tire or the rim, just the spokes. And that makes little pockets in the dirt, and it turns, and that helps hold water in place and stop some erosion on our potato rows. And then also we use that same bar. We put spray nozzles on the back side of it to spray our pre-emergent chemicals all in one pass. So we've got to hook up tanks and everything else to this. So we're done with the Challenger for now, until we dammer dike. But when we dammer dike, we put saddle tanks on this, on the outside of the tracks, and the tracks are pretty wide. And we have a short hose for our fuel tank, or for fueling up the fuel tank. So I'm gonna fuel it up right now. The tractor's almost empty. I'm glad that it's an option we didn't know was available, or we didn't even know was a thing. But I'm glad that we ended up buying a used tractor with this option. I think it's got a 230-gallon tank on it. Pretty sure that's what it is. It's big. Might be bigger than that. Gotta remember what it was. But get it fueled up. It's gonna take a while. While we're letting that fuel up, we've got another disc gripper that we're gonna unhook and switch that tractor over. Let's get some of the stuff out of the cab here. Going over to the Magnum 305. We have a Case Ecolo Tiger 530C. Got a fun little story about this disc gripper. I'll tell you when I get there. This is our Case Ecolo Tiger 530C. It is a, I think, 12-foot wide disc gripper, and it's got, is that 9 shanks? See, there's 5 main on the back, 4 in the middle. So yeah, 9 shank. And these shanks, we have 10-inch wings on them. So it's doing basically a complete fracture. Especially with those wings, which I think those ones are a 4-inch wing. I gotta remember right. But a fun story about this disc gripper. So this disc gripper actually came from Hawaii. It was sent there on a boat, and a neighboring farm had it. They had a dairy in Hawaii. I don't know all the details. You can look it up, but they had a dairy in Hawaii for a while. And I guess things went south on that dairy. Didn't work out. Also, they found out, to my understanding, I'm sorry if anyone from that operation knows more than me. I'm just repeating what I heard. But rumor was they tried farming that area like you would farm Idaho. Well, they found out quickly running a disc gripper on a giant rock doesn't work, because there's rock, and it's solid rock out in the middle of the ocean. So rumor was this disc gripper was nearly new, if not brand new, and it didn't get used much. In fact, when we got it, it had a couple shanks that were tripped. Not broken, but tripped with the shear pin, meaning the shank hit its limit and it just folded back. It's supposed to do that. It's supposed to trip with excess pressure so that it doesn't break the shanks completely off or break the frame or something else. So they couldn't use it. I believe that dairy got shut down. Again, don't quote me on this story 100% of what happened at the dairy, but I do know that this came from Hawaii and it was shipped back, and it looked rough. Cosmetically, mechanically, this thing's pretty sound. We haven't had hardly any issues aside from hydraulic hoses. I'm assuming something about salty air has something to do with like hydraulic hoses, because I think we've replaced every single hydraulic hose that first year that we had this. But long story short, we bought this from our local Case dealership. Our salesman said, hey, there's a great deal. You might want to check it out. So we checked it out. We had a piece of equipment that we were like, oh, we don't really need. We'll trade this in on it. I believe, now again, okay, maybe I don't know anything about the story. I know a little bit. I know roughly. I think we ended up buying this disc gripper with probably, rumored to say less than 500 acres on it. I think we got it for less than $5,000. It could have been 2,500. $5,000 total, but they gave us 2,500 for our old equipment on trade, and so we bought this for 2,500 bucks. It was a sweet deal. That's what I'm trying to say. It was a sweet deal. And we really like this disc gripper for manure because it's skinnier, it's easier to pull, and manure can be really slick and hard to get traction in the field because it could be greasy or whatever. Another reason is the way the shanks are laid out, and then the closing discs, especially in the fall we like to use it. So the closing discs, we don't have a crumbler on the back. A lot of people will have a trailer style crumbler on the back. We don't have it because we like to leave our fields rough in the fall. And then also with those closing discs, the way they are, we feel like it closes up the manure. It kind of opens up a slot, and those closing discs throw the manure into the hole, and we kind of like how it leaves the ground. It leaves it really soft through the winter so we can gain more moisture, we can incorporate manure. Honestly, it was a great buy, and yeah, it hasn't required hardly any maintenance except for the hoses. Yeah, the hoses, something about the salty air or something. I mean, and we've painted a little bit on it because yeah, it was a rust bucket the way it looked, but it was all just cosmetic. Wasn't that big of a deal. It's been a really good disc gripper, especially for the price. So we have 3 different disc grippers, and we use them all for different purposes. Now, when working with manure, I honestly think a plow would be next to ideal. But the plows, honestly, it's 6s. This is about the same width as our 12 bottom plow, or 12, our 8 bottom plow. 12 feet is what I'm thinking in my head as I'm talking. It's about the same width. I believe the 8 bottom plow is almost 12 feet, or it is 12 feet. We haven't used it for so long. I don't remember what the width is. But when incorporating manure, I personally think a plow is one of the best ways to do it. But a plow just takes so much time, so much fuel, and I don't know, you know, according to regenerative ag, we shouldn't be using a plow. I don't know what the right answer is. Yeah. I think there's a place for a plow. But this disc gripper works really good in place of a plow for a lot of situations. It does a good job. All right, we gotta go and hook this one. And then we gotta go hook on our roller harrow. Or I thought of the word, I was thinking of the word, and I couldn't think of it the last time I talked about it. A cultipacker, I think that's what the rest of the world calls it. We call it a roller harrow because Parma builds it, and I think they specifically name it roller harrow. It's a lot like Q-tips, you know, the Q-tips that you're not supposed to put in your ear, but everyone does. That's not their real name. They're not Q-tips. They're cotton swabs or a Kleenex. That's the brand. Anyways, I said it again. Not gonna do it. I'm gonna go unhook this, then we'll go hook on the cultipacker roller harrow. I'm gonna call it a roller harrow. That's what it is to me. They're all unhooked, ready to go. Hopefully that story made sense. Yeah, we bought that for roughly $5,000. It is worth way more than that. On this farm, we like to find deals. It's the only way you can make things work. Back at the farmyard. See that little yellow bug there? That's for a fun little race that we do. I'll show you later this summer why that's there. So we are here to hook up the roller harrow, rolling harrow, cultipacker, bed maker, seed bed maker, soil finisher. Tell me in the comments what you would call this. We call it a rolling harrow because it's got rollers, and then it's got S-tine harrow, and a leveling bar, and another set of a roller. And we hook our grain drill behind it because it actually really does a good job in front of a grain drill. But we've got to unhook the grain drill because we just used that 530C in a field to do manure, and it was spring worked. And so when we work in the spring, it actually leaves the soil really soft. Let's put the pin in here. But it leaves the soil softer than we can plant in, and softer than we can actually run our sunflower soil finisher in. Because that soil finisher, as good as it is, it actually needs the soil to be a little bit harder. Otherwise, the front end dives really bad. And then it just gets buried and hard to pull and doesn't do a good job. So we love the sunflower disc, the 6830. I believe that's the right model number. We love it. It works really, really well, but the conditions have to be just about perfect for it to work well. And those conditions consist of it being a little harder packed than what we're doing. So we're gonna put this on. It's rolling harrow. We're gonna hook it up to the tractor, and we're gonna go make that field a little more firm so we can plant corn in. And then we can have a good seed bed. And there's lots of ways to skin a cat, as they say. And corn does like soft soil. But if you're too soft, when you go to irrigate, you're just gonna blow out your furrow, your rows. You're gonna wash everything away. And soft is good, and having no compaction is good, but seed to soil contact is also really good. And to get that, you need a certain level of firmness to your soil. So that's what we're trying to achieve with the roller harrow. Today's going really well. Compared to last week and all the craziness that was going on last week and the week before, I feel like we're finally starting to get into a good flow of how things, of timing, I don't know what to call it, but we're finally getting into a good flow. So here's our grain drill. And this is a hitch that I'm pretty sure this is a stock or a manufactured hitch from the manufacturer, from Parma, the company. Let's see if I got enough slack in here to, oh yeah, sweet cup and cakes. But it had some additions to it to make it a little stronger. So we just have some quick couplers here. And these two hoses just kind of chill back here because they're not in the way of anything. They won't be an issue. Easy as that. Grain drill's all unhooked, and then we can hook onto that later and we'll pull it in the shop. We like to put our planters in the shop, keep them out of the moisture. Let's go inside, check our hydraulics. Make sure we're all going the right direction. I've always wondered this, does everyone run their hydraulics the same way? If you're a farmer, so I'm gonna turn the camera around, show you my hand here. So if you're a farmer, I like to use number one always, if possible, for lifting and lowering your main implement. Number two, it would be your accessories. So like in this situation, I like number two to be the grain drill, but we're not gonna use the grain drill. So I like number two to be the leveling bar that is on the roller harrow. And then number three, depending on what the implement is. So like in this situation, if we are using, I'm gonna make you dizzy, throwing the camera around back and forth. But if we were gonna be using the grain drill, I would use number three as the leveling bar because I feel like I do it in order of importance. So this one only takes 3 hydraulics. When we're running the grain drill, when it's just a roller harrow, it is just 1 and 2. So for me, lift is always pulling back. Wow, I messed that up. Okay. Huh. So, number one, actually, I have going to the grain drill. Number two, I have for the main lift, which I don't like that, I need to swap that. And number three is backwards, because when I lift, it actually lowers. When I pull back, it lowers the leveling bar, and I want it to be opposite. I want it to be, when I pull the lever back, I want it to actually lift the leveling bar. So I gotta go swap that real quick. Got the hydraulics all set. Everything's good to go. I think we can go to the field. Make sure I don't hit that little disc. We can go to the field, test it out, see where we're at. And then Miguel's gonna run this, and I'm gonna go work on pivot. We got the roller harrow running, and honestly, I'm not real impressed. I think we got a couple issues going on. One of those issues is how dry the field is. So it's not breaking stuff down the way I feel like it should. We maybe worked it too dry. I don't know, but I'm not real thrilled with it. I mean, you can see all the dust coming off of that. That is, it don't look good. Well, let's make this pass here. We'll make the little loop-de-loo, do a little turnaround, come back, and do a little look outside and see what we're thinking. Ew, I wonder if we ought to turn on the pivot here on this field and work it again after it gets watered, of course. Part of the problem might be in this particular section, there was actually the old timers in this area. There's an antique tractor association, and they had a plow day here. So they brought their old tractors, and they're like 1, 2, 3, 4 bottom plows, a bunch of old 70s models tractors, I think. And they had a good old time, but I think some of those plows left some major clods out in this field. Wow. Where did that come from? Was it the truck spreading manure? Was it the I don't know. I don't know. We're gonna go out and look. Let's, man, I can't even see the end of the field. But yeah, we're gonna get here on the end of the field, make a little turnaround, kind of see what the verdict is. Eesh. Yeah, I'm not in love with the job it's doing. Not what I was hoping for. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Yay. I mean, it might be okay. It might be okay, but yeah, that is dry. Dry. Oh man, we got some clods here. You can hear those rings just bouncing all over. All right, let's stop and go take a look-see. Well, this is the dirt we have to work with. This is where the plows were. Why? Why is it? Did we plow it too wet? Oh, there are a lot of clods there. Maybe we need to put our tines down lower. Might need to adjust these tines so they're digging just a little bit deeper, maybe? Oh, they're going a couple inches deep. It's not bad. I know what you're thinking. Dead soil club. You've got dead soil. Yeah, whatever. It's leveling out okay. Almost wonder if the sunflower would do better on this field. Kind of got me curious now. You can see there's still some manure up here on top, which is good. It's all good. Won't hurt nothing. The field's not quite as soft as I was thinking it was going to be either. Don't look at that tire too close. It's a little bald. Thankfully, we don't need a lot of traction in this field, because that roller harrow is not hard to pull. All right, we're gonna make a couple more passes. We'll make a decision here by the end of the day. So, this is, I don't know what to think about it. I don't know what to think. We'll just keep on going. Oh, starting too high of a gear. Just keep on going. Yes. Yeah, we'll see what the old Sean has to say about it. Well, I didn't roller harrow for very long. Had to go move some water, meaning move sprinklers in the fields. And we'll get into that later this summer, but It's been a long day. It's time to go home. I'm soaked. The wind's blowing. I had a bunch of plugged nozzles. Had to unplug. I had to pull a full mouse or rat through one of them. That was fun. Nasty. But yeah. For the most part, good day. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great evening, a great morning, a great afternoon, mid-morning, midnight, whatever time it is that you're watching this. Have a great weekend and eat more potatoes. See ya.